I was politely applauding when they lifted their glasses in her honor, a champagne flute in one hand, a rigid smile plastered on my face, feigning my participation in the joyful acclaim. To our magnificent daughter, Skylar, my father, Arthur, beamed proudly. She is finally debt-free thanks entirely to us. The ballroom in New York City erupted in appreciative laughter, but a ringing noise started in my ears. My sister, Skylar's, smile was expansive, the picture of pure gratitude. She deserved congratulations absolutely, but not under these terms. Not with my personal sacrifice, deliberately interred beneath their selective generosity. They gazed at her as though she had, independently, carried both of us through the rigorous demands of medical school, as if my own sleepless nights, my difficult surgical rotations, my endless examinations simply did not matter because my financial loans still shackled me. And then came the statement that caused me to grip my glass tighter. My mother, Alara, leaned close to an aunt, her voice gentle yet utterly cutting. She merits it more, darling. I did not shatter the glass. Not then. I patiently waited. We had always been inseparable. Two young girls with identical backpacks promising to pursue medicine together. We studied diligently at the same desk, exchanging flashcards late into the night. I consistently pushed her when she became complacent. I covered for her when she crumbled under stress. She always maintained that I was her essential anchor. I honestly believed her. When the acceptance letters arrived, we celebrated with a shared, breathless pride. Two crisp white coats, two distinct paths, one shared ambition. Our parents beamed at us then, as if they had fostered complete equals, but that equality was a fragile, fleeting illusion. The subtle signs of favoritism began quietly. She received a newer automobile for her clinical rotations while I kept my aging vehicle functioning through fervent prayers and duct tape repairs. Her apartment rent was discreetly covered when her medical internships depleted her meager paychecks, while I was forced to meticulously count coins just for necessary groceries. I constantly reassured myself that such material matters were insignificant, that genuine affection was never quantifiable in mere currency. But then I overheard the undeniable truth. It was the night my mother, Alara's, voice drifted clearly down the hallway. Do not inform your sister. She is inherently resilient. She will manage perfectly well by herself. But our precious girl, she absolutely requires this financial assistance. I froze outside the door, my heart violently hammering. My father, Arthur's, immediate response sealed my fate. Yes, settle her debts. She merits it more, darling. My own loans, my personal struggle, my years bowed beneath the identical, overwhelming weight, were completely invisible, entirely dismissed. The true betrayal was not contained in their spoken words. It resided in their fundamental choice. They consciously selected her future and deliberately left me to financially flounder. I did not weep. I did not initiate a confrontation. Any display of emotion would only serve to fuel their justification. Instead, I sat motionless, calculating. My sister would finish school debt-free, paraded as their golden child. They would publicly celebrate her success while my balance sheets continued to hemorrhage money. So I devised a quiet plan. Retaliation does not loudly scream its intent. It simply waits. It diligently sharpens its edges. I commenced the collection of concrete proof. Tuition statements, intimate emails, bank transaction records, every financial document that loudly proclaimed their blatant partiality. I kept the evidence neat, organized, undeniable. Then I observed my sister. She relished the attention, but she also genuinely loved me, or at least the version of me who applauded her achievements without the slightest hesitation. She never once inquired why my smile felt constrained. She never questioned why my congratulations sounded rehearsed. She would never anticipate my move. Their celebratory event was my designated stage. I ensured the event location. Staff knew my name. It was booked under the family's main account, but paid for as usual by them. I requested one small provision: the use of their slideshow projector. Pictures documenting her journey, I told the planner, as sweet as honey. I arrived well in advance with a discreet flash drive. My sister's photographs were certainly present. White coat ceremony, smiling hospital. Shifts, her graduation, kept tossed high into the air. But I had meticulously spliced in a critical addition. Scans of tuition, invoices placed side by side, mine and hers. Clearly marked paid versus unpaid. Undeniable evidence stamped in objective numbers they could not refute. The very last slide was the infamous quote, "She merits it more, darling." Black text starkly against a white screen, their very own words immortalized. The evening unfolded like a meticulous theatrical production. Laughter, speeches, clinking glassware, and then the lights gently dimmed. Let us take a moment to reflect on her remarkable journey. I announced calmly, taking the microphone. My voice was steady and perfectly controlled. The initial images drew appreciative cheers. Baby photos. High school honors. Her smiling confidently in medical scrubs. Pride swelled throughout the room. Then came the abrupt shift. Numbers, financial statements, bank transaction receipts. Confusion instantly stirred. Low whispers rustled among the guests. By the time the final incriminating slide glared across the entire room, and absolute silence descended, heavy and cold. Everyone saw it. Everyone clearly read it. My mother, Alara, gasped loudly. My father, Arthur's jaw clenched tight. My sister, Skylar's face completely drained of color. Debt-free, I said softly into the microphone, my gaze fixed directly upon my parents. Paid for in its entirety, not by true merit but by conscious choice. A choice you deliberately made between your two daughters. The silence finally shattered. An aunt audibly muttered, shameful. Someone else whispered, that is completely unfair. My sister stammered weakly, you actually did this. I offered a small smile. Finally, the truth is exposed. No, you all did this. I merely held up the mirror for everyone to see. They exited the venue in profound, fractured silence. Their earlier applause had turned to acrid ash. My sister could not bear to meet my eyes. My parents did not speak a single word. I walked out of that ballroom with my head held high. My personal loans were still mine, but my complete dignity was intact. The truth had been paid forward, not in financial dollars but in public exposure. And as I discreetly slipped into the night, I realized something essential. Justice does not always fully settle existing debts. Sometimes it simply perfectly evens the scales. They wanted a boastful celebration of her financial freedom. I furnished them with an unforgettable reckoning of their own deep betrayal, and it was worth every single penny. I still owe